You know, sometimes I wonder how I get myself in these situations. There's no joke, I'm just confused. Alright then, what game are we dealing with next? It can't be worse than Voxel Battle Simulator, can it? Fuck, I don't give a shit! So then, let me give some context as to why this game is so hated. So, it's 2007, and the Colin McRae Rally series has been going strong ever since 1998. There are 5 entries in the Classic series, but it's in the middle of getting reworked. And finally, the first entry of its reworked identity releases in Europe, Colin McRae Dirt. Critics generally agreed that the gameplay shakeup was quite nice, it introduced Rallycross to the series, and it even had a day 1 patch. Let me read the patch notes on it then. Oh. Yeah, if this isn't bad timing for something, then I don't even know how you define the word. The game comes out in Europe, and one day later, he dies in a helicopter crash. How? After this tragic event, Codemasters had a meeting with McRae's family, where they settled on an agreement to never use Colin McRae's name again in a title unless it was for a tribute. And that's exactly what they did for Dirt 2, with most titles shipping with the name Colin McRae Dirt 2, as there are multiple sections in the game which are a direct tribute to the driver. And when did this game come out? So not only are we dealing with legal issues with this game, but also a whole shitload of ethical ones. And it only took 2 episodes! There's also some particularly funny stuff to say about, of all things, the store page, and now I regret not taking the advice of the black guy with the lightning. Like, look at this. Not only is there a repeating wallpaper for the game's background, like, what are you? You're not a fucking Windows wallpaper, you are a Steam page! But also, they didn't even bother to align the main thumbnail for the game. Are you shitting me, Codemasters? Alright, enough dicking about with the Steam menu. Let's actually open the game. We're off to a good start. So after starting the game with the default Unity launcher, How is there already another issue? We aren't even into the menus yet! So every game in the Classic series has had music composed by Jonathan Colling. He's a pretty good composer, and he has a really unique style to the tracks he makes. Have a listen to a couple of the main themes from the past games in the series. Right, and the really weird thing is that Colin McRae Rally Remastered has its own theme. It's unknown if this was composed by Jonathan Colling, but it kind of has the same vibe. Have a listen. Yeah, and despite having an original theme, it's only used in the trailers, never released officially, and instead, the main theme you hear through the game is the menu theme of Rally 04, a game which is stylistically never referenced in the actual game. What the fuck? Alright, let's get down to brass tacks. This game is a remake of Colin McRae Rally 2.0, so naturally, considering that that's one of the most loved games in the series, you'd think it's capable of reaching that high bar. What have I been bitching about the past 5 minutes? Here is essentially all the content you get with Colin McRae Rally 2.0. I might be missing one or two things, but this is a generally comprehensive list. And now here's what you get with the remaster. Ouch! I've ranted for this long without showing any gameplay. But let me tell you something. You're not ready for the gameplay. Like, just watch. As a reminder, here's what the most recent Dirt game at the time looked like.
74 right into 6 crest. 53 right and turn 3. 54.
Yeah, I think you get the point. This game, looking as bad as it does for the year it released, is fucking inexcusable. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, that comes down to the engine they used. Yeah, they only used that engine because the Ego engine doesn't work on mobile phones. Then you may be thinking, oh, clearly a phone game would be a lesser experience, so why the hell are you even complaining? Well, that's no excuse for two reasons. One, this game was remade better on the goddamn N-Gage with more content and better controls. And two, the game's Steam page does not mention anywhere that it's a mobile game. If you are looking for a genuine remake, then you've come to the wrong place and it doesn't even tell you. So yeah, it being a mobile game is not an excuse. I feel like the people who bought this and only afterwards realized it's a mobile game reacted in the same way as the people who found the source for ulterior motives! So, if we've already reached rock bottom, how are the physics, eh?
4 right. Tightens. 30 long 4 left. Tightens. 100 hairpin right. 100. Into 4 left. Into 4 right. 30 crest.
They don't even pay me alimony. But still, none of this is adding up. How can a game, scratch that, a remake of a game, have so little content, and yet the gameplay to back it up is this?
50 jump. 30 jump into long 4 right.
Well, believe it or not, when you 100% the game, which I didn't, I downloaded a save file online, you get the answer. And it's just as pathetic as the rest of the game. Your eyes don't deceive you. They were originally going to pull a modern Nintendo by releasing this with almost no content and then adding it later on via updates. Needless to say, this didn't exactly work out. But what's funny is that there are still remnants of the unfinished things that were going to be put in later updates. Most notably, there are audio files for the Sierra Cosworth, and the Mini Cooper is mentioned in a couple text files. And there is also one other audio file here, simply called town_sweden.ogg, which alludes to the fact that Australia, Greece, and France weren't the only free countries. And by the way, the audio file sounds like this. But before we actually wrap things up for today, I want to show you the game that this was supposedly remastering.
3, 2, 1, go.
I think you can already notice that the car feels a lot heavier, the controls feel way snappier, And the sense of speed is just kind of there. I mean, compare the original Stratos to how it is in the remake, and it's just kind of night and day. But, hold on a second. If you go back to the original footage I was talking about, you may have noticed something I just did. Now, it may not be obvious to most viewers, but to people who've played 2.0, that's not the original Stratos livery. In fact, that's the same one as in the remaster. Yes, they fucking did. They reused the exact same models! Not only did they use the same tracks, but the models were flat out ripped from the PC version. And I know this because I downloaded all of the assets from the game, uploaded the remastered texture onto the original model, and it was a perfect match. There were no UV mapping issues. It just snapped on there like a goddamn magnet. And you know, they gave so little shits about this game that the livery they used for the Focus was a prototype livery. And they never checked. If you still have a copy of this game, dig it out of the dirt and then rally it right in